Hello friends, let's talk about the Moto Morini X-Cape 650, the bike that I think kind of looks like a Ducati if you ordered it from wish.com. We're really moving up in the world here on the Dork on the Road channel. I got my first press bike. Yes, the very first time a manufacturer has loaned me a motorcycle, and it's this Moto Morini X-Cape 650, which is gonna seem pretty familiar to me and some of you who've been around for a long time because the motor is directly out of the Kawasaki Versys 650. It is a 650cc adventure motorcycle that I have on loan from Moto Morini for a few weeks to test and check out and review for you. Let's just get the elephant out of the room right up front. Moto Morini is an Italian company. All of their design and administration and everything else takes place in Italy, but they are building these bikes in China nowadays, and they are owned by a Chinese parent company. But KTM is also building a lot of their bikes in China these days, so just kind of think that's unavoidable. I know a lot of hullabaloo has been made about it, but I'm not here to debate politics with you. I'm here to tell you whether or not I think this is a good bike, and we're going to talk about the motorcycle. So first impression when you walk up to this thing, I think it's cool. It's good looking. So I'm going to take it out for a first ride here in a minute, but I thought before I do, and on what I think might be the last nice day for a while based on the upcoming weather, a walk around while it's still clean would be cool. So let's just do a circle and then we'll go in and talk about some of the detailed stuff that I want you to pay attention to or that I find interesting. I haven't really ridden the bike yet. I rode it from the dealership to my trailer, which was 2 blocks, and I rode it out here in the driveway. This is the X-Cape that Brett Tax had and really thrashed on, so they did a great job putting it back together for me. I'm mostly kidding, but also not. He tested it thoroughly. That is what Brett does, and that's what I appreciate about him. I think it's a cool looking bike. It's obviously got some stylistic designs that are all its own instead of just being a copy of some other adventure bike like you sometimes see on these more budget-friendly bikes. I really like the angular design. I like the sharp lines. One of the things that's most striking about this bike to me right off the bat is some of the components are surprisingly premium. So it's got Brembo brakes. If you open it up, you can see there's Bosch electronics inside. This is a licensed copy of the old Versys 650 motor. The one from the Ninja 650, like it was very classic, used a lot in Kawasaki bikes. This one came with full hard panniers, which I've taken off for this ride, but this whole setup is very sturdy. The panniers are super nice, obviously excellent aluminum, and the sharp lines continue even up the bike here. No garbage removable gas cap, that's nice. And then another really striking thing right away is this really big TFT display that's super readable, but also kind of like matte and muted. It's not like super bright and in your face. It's just kind of there. You'll notice I have this TPMS light flashing. That's because the front TPMS is not working. The battery's dead or something. I don't know, I blame Brett, but that doesn't have anything to do with the bike. Adjustable windscreen. And the thing you need to know about this bike is that it has a ton of features. It has off-road mode, electronics, all this stuff that I'm showing you, and it is incredibly budget-friendly. It's like, it's $8,000 for this bike, and right now they're even offering savings where you can get it even cheaper than that. You get a lot for that money, and I think that's what they're going for, but it's also not going to be perfect, and I hope that we can tease out all those nuances as we ride it around. This one has crash bars. These are an optional accessory, and look at this, even LEDs up here, LED running lights, that's cool. And like Brett Tax, I noticed that they're not very solidly mounted. I went through and tightened down all the hardware, but it's just a clamp here instead of this upper crash bar being connected to the engine in any way. The lower one is a lot more solid, as you can see, because it's actually bolted directly to the engine and clamped onto actual frame rails, but this one moves a little. And the other thing that's silly is the skid plate. Like, what's the point of a skid plate if you're gonna have the exhaust sticking out of it? I guess it protects the engine, but still. Another thing to notice, it's got steel braided brake lines, Marzocchi suspension, which is, you know, a name brand. It comes with the Pirelli tires that I just can't get away from. Steel braided brake lines in the back, Brembo's in the back. All around a very intriguing bike because there's a lot of value there for the money, but who is it for? Who wants to buy this bike? Who is the best ideal consumer and person to purchase and use this bike? I want to kind of tease that out as I have it to ride and evaluate, but that's a lot of talking. Should we just go ride the thing? Let's go ride the thing before we lose the sun forever. Trying to get out today on at least a short ride, so let's do a little pavement. Let's do a little gravel. Okay, here's the Morini. First impressions when you swing your leg over. Heavy. I mean, compared to my other bikes, and it is a heavier bike. You can feel that weight. I mean, spoiler alert, and we're going to evaluate it. I'm not going to judge based on my first impressions solely, but It says Adventourer right on the side of this bike, and I really think that's what it's designed to be. It's a bike that is going to be super great on the highway. It's super premium. It has a bunch of really premium, nice features for long distance riding. And it's going to have the capability to get you where you're going when you get there, or to get you through the unexpected, but it's definitely not going to be a stump jumping, crazy hardcore, or even really a dedicated off-road bike. We'll see. We're going to try it on some stuff. We're going to see how it feels. It is a motorcycle with luxury features. That is not a luxury price. Second thing you notice when you sit down is the screen. It is really cool. It feels like a solid bike. Like, it doesn't have any weird chintzy feeling. I made that joke about wish.com at the beginning, but mostly for shock value. It's got some cool design touches like Morini here on the grips. It's got a 12-volt charging plug. It's actually got two USBs, which is nice. My Transalp doesn't even have that. I don't know how the wind noise is going to be in this helmet. I've been fighting it quite a bit. So I'm going to do the road ride, we'll shoot some footage, and then we'll talk about how the road riding feels when we get to the gravel. It is a 650cc engine, which means power-wise it's very easy to handle. It doesn't have a ton of horsepower, but it has plenty to survive. On the highway. It's not going to snap your neck, but it's not like it can't accelerate either. Suspension feels stiff-ish, which is good for something that you're going to take off-road now and then. Like, I should be feeling these little bumps to a degree. It's got a decent little pickup if you're in the right rev range. It's not bad. It's not bad. It's not wet right here, is it? I hate to crash this thing very first time out. Man, this thing is easy to ride, I'll give you that. It is easy to ride. Not scary. The only thing scary is the weight. It's not a scary pull or difficult to control motor. Okay, so that was just a few minutes of road riding, highway speeds. Spite, aka Jake, our friend Spite's Corner, reviewed this bike and said that the motor was boring, it lacked character. And I can see why he said that, because this bike is not made for him, and I don't feel like it's made even for me. It's not made for someone with my level of experience. Not that it's not fun or interesting to ride. I really think, this is first impressions now, this is not a review, that this bike is designed to be the sort of entry-level golden ticket, the bike that you get so much value out of for touring riders, for long road, long haul touring riders, and people that do maybe a little off-road, like a little gravel on a longer tour, on a multi-day tour. It's designed to be to that type of riding what the Himalayan is to off-road riding, to adventure riding, because that Himalayan is such an entry-level, easy to ride motorcycle that anyone can jump on and ride and learn to ride off-road. And I'm feeling that way about this bike in terms of touring and things like that. You give up a little fit and finish, you give up a little name recognition, but you get a lot of value on the other end. Now, this thing has multiple modes. We can switch the ride mode by going to ride and then flipping to off-road. And you know you're in off-road mode because the display changes to a cool tire. I like that. Oh man, there's a lot of heat hitting my legs right now. You definitely notice that. Let's see how it does, suspension-wise and just handling-wise on this looser, gravelier stuff. Also, let's try standing up. Oh man, I like the tank. The way the tank locks, I can lock my legs in on the tank. It's another advantage to those sharp lines, is there's just a straight, flat surface for me to grab. I'm not trying to grab like the round surface and sliding all over the place like on some bikes. Yeah, I mean, it's not throw your head back fast. What it is easy to ride, easy power delivery. Let's see. Yeah, rear ABS is still on. I think maybe you can turn it off separately, which means front is definitely on. Oh yeah, I can feel it. Here we are. Now it's muddy. You know, doing 45. I don't want to speak too soon, but it's definitely fine, he said confidently. It's just a little slippery right here, but again, that's tires. This is all mud. I need the gravel to come back. Yeah, it's kind of got that KLR-y power delivery where, you know, I always said about the KLR that you didn't need traction control because it didn't have enough power to spin the rear wheel unless you're really just like dropping the clutch. I'm feeling that here. I mean, I am in fourth gear, I guess, you know, and it definitely has a top heaviness to it. Again, I don't think its primary purpose is off-road riding. I think its primary purpose is on-road long distance comfort,
And then if you want to go off-road some, you can. I will tell you the other thing that I noticed almost immediately is it seems to have borrowed the seat design from the Versys. And what I mean by that is it leans you down forward, and then there's a sharp slope up at the front, and so you're constantly smashing your favorite bits. That is, if you're a person with testicles, on the tank, on the seat. What have we here? There's a car off the road. So that's uncomfortable. It was one of my least favorite things about my Versys. You know, that's, you can't park there, buddy. I don't see any broken glass, so I'm assuming everyone was okay. Man, what happened? This isn't even like, we're not far from town, and this isn't a difficult corner. Here, I spun it a little. This corner always sneaks up on me. Yeah, okay, I gotta play with the ABS settings because slowing down there was difficult. There we go. Oh, I spun it a little. Yeah, get it, girl. I like the foot pegs. They're pretty wide. The rubber's been removed, so it's removable rubber. I'm gonna just go ahead and let you guess who removed it. His name rhymes with wet tracks. Both feet right now, I'm down balls of my feet, and it's really easy to get flat-footed comfortably, actually comfortably flat-footed and in neutral on a hill. So I'm holding the bike up at the same time, and it doesn't feel like I don't have enough traction to hold it or that it's gonna roll away from me. I mean, it's definitely a solid feeling, easy to ride, you know, on off-road motorcycle. It doesn't feel like it's a bike that's designed to do the most hardcore stuff, but nobody expects it to compete with the 890 Adventure or even the Tenere. But it's got so many features that the Tenere doesn't have, and it's way less expensive. It's got so many features that the Transalp doesn't even have, and it's way less expensive. So again, it's going to be that budget-conscious, value-friendly, entry-level adventure touring bike, Adventouring bike, if you want to believe what it says on the side of the bike, which I have to say probably in some way indicates their intention with this motorcycle. I don't know, I'm not a doctor, but it seems like you wouldn't put Adventouring on there if you didn't want people to adventure, you know. I mean, we're doing 60, pretty stable on this. It's not the bumpiest gravel road I've ever been on. Yeah, oh, I really like the tank, the design of the tank for standing. It's really good. I never realized how much I needed a flat tank to grip while I was standing up. Yeah, the seat is very narrow. Probably if you were not so large as I am, it would be a lot more comfortable front to back, but I'm just, you know, not small, so I don't fit in the space here as well, and it definitely smashes the old gonades. Alright, there's some good twisties on the backside we can hit. Let's not freak out this horse. Brake pull, I'm getting used to it now. I'm only using one finger. It's actually pretty, I got good control, so maybe I just wasn't used to it, or maybe it wasn't warmed up or something. I don't know, but it's good response, initial touch. I forgot to turn off off-road mode. So I mean, it'll go 90 kilometers per hour. That's kilometers per hour, sure. Yep, that's it. Can you change modes on the fly, I wonder? There we go, yep, back. You can tell because the dash changed, set, back. This is a 7-inch TFT, 2 full inches bigger than the Transalp, which I thought was pretty big. We're talking GS territory. Premium features, I'm telling you. One thing you definitely notice. Premium features. Ooh, this is tighter than I expected. Man. Yeah, there's some decent bumps. It's handling them okay. One advantage to weight is stability. That's why I'm so stable all the time. Not mentally, obviously. If you keep it in the 6,000-7,000 range, the engine's actually pretty fun. I'm not being nice to it right now. Definitely downshifting hard and braking hard. So this is a bike that I could see being very fun to, well, I'm going to use the word thrash on. Especially because you know you didn't pay that much for it. It feels like it can take some harsh riding in a way that would make it fun for a more experienced rider, but also easy for a new rider to handle. So I just want to say thanks to Moto Morini for the opportunity and Sabatino Moto in Portland for helping me get this thing all situated. So like I said, I'm going to have this thing for a couple weeks, maybe even a month, and I'm hoping if the weather changes to take it camping while I have it. Definitely get some more off-road riding in, so make sure that you're subscribed so you don't miss that. And also because I'm the dork in the road and I want to be your internet riding buddy. And I'm better than your regular riding buddies because I come with a mute button. Look, the tires are smoking. Well, they're steaming, but that could just be the exhaust. Okay, trying to look cool, but failed. Well, that's it for the walk-around test ride first impressions of the Moto Morini. If you have any questions, please feel free to leave them in the comments. Maybe I can get them answered in the full review video. Don't forget about Adventouring. See, I told you. But for now, and as always, I just want to say thank you very much for watching, and please do not forget to be excellent to each other. Thank you.
Excellent!